Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Let me make sure everybody's getting in the room. This is awesome. We have everybody piling in and we're just waiting on Momma Dee. I'm so excited for this interview, guys. I have been waiting all week to talk to Momma Dee. I confirmed her last week on the phone. She left me a voicemail and she was hilarious. She literally, when she says she does not give a rip, I can't say this enough because she actually does not give a rip. She's so much fun to talk to on the phone that I can only imagine this is going to be such a fun interview. And now she's trying to get the technical part worked out by calling in. And God forbid something happens, we will just do a Zoom interview. But hopefully she's on her way. And this is good. We have time to fill up the room. In the meantime, I'll start answering some questions for you guys if you have them. I saw Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem said, Adam, did you see where I asked you if you would ask Sarah if Leah gave her 15% of her brand, like Leah said? Yes, absolutely, Carpe Diem. Thank you so much for watching, and I will absolutely cover that. I'll ask her first to make sure I can, but if she says yes, then of course. All right, guys. Only 1 minute in. Everybody pile in. Please hit like. If you guys haven't already, check out Real Housewives of Dallas. Momma Dee Simmons is from the Real Housewives of Dallas. She's obviously the mother to Deandra Simmons. They just wrapped up Real Housewives of Dallas last week. So when I was talking to Momma Dee, she was actually just getting out of her confessionals. And I'm excited for the new season. She seems to think that it's going to be a great one. So I'm going to take her word. And as she enters two. So some of the questions just to kind of, hi guys, hi, welcome in. Hi, everybody. I'm looking at the comments as you guys appear. Ask Momma Dee who she would like to see on Real Housewives of Dallas. So some of the fun fan questions that I chose from you guys that I'm going to talk to Momma Dee about is, how did she start her business? One of you wanted to know how many wigs does Momma Dee actually own? So I'm going to ask her about that, of course. Aside from her type A personality, why else does she feel like men find her intimidating? We're going to talk to her about her business, her likes and dislikes of filming, kind of her contractual agreements and how she feels about all of that. I mean, we have a lot to talk about, guys. She should be coming in any minute. It wouldn't be, she of course has to be a little bit fashionably late, I feel. Also, guys, coming up this week too, since I have time to talk to you guys about this, I might as well. We're doing Real Housewives of Potomac today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to recap yesterday's kind of mess of a show. If you saw, Candace and Monique got into the big knockout drag out that we've been waiting for, and it was pretty bad. But of course, Bravo knows they're editing and they cut it off before we got to see it. So we have to wait in suspense till next week. We're also doing Darcy and Stacy, and we're going to do it with one of my friends, Coco, who's a tarot card reader. I'm sorry. She's going to do a couple readings for you guys. She's going to pick random people tomorrow out of the group. That's going to be at 10:30 a.m. PST. And then, of course, I'm doing Super Bravo Tuesday, which is going to be so much fun. Super Bravo Tuesday is always a lot of fun. And we have some special guests for you guys. Then after that, Wednesday and Thursday, I'm not going to be seeing you guys a whole bunch unless something pops up, which it may because I have a lot of interviews coming up. And then Friday, we're going to be talking with Marissa Hermer live. We're going to pop off on Pop Culture with Pops. And then, I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm just going to keep adding things. Who knows? Oh, Real Housewives of New York. That's what we're doing. 49 in the room. Ask her how the show moves on without Leanne. Can you ask Momma Dee what she really thinks of Leanne? All right. Momma Dee should be appearing anytime now, guys. Let's just keep it going, see what's going to happen, see if she appears. And if not, again, like I told you guys, stick with me for a minute. We're going to see. If not, I'll do a pre-recorded Zoom. Sometimes StreamYard is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it doesn't always accept the cameras, the mics, and you can't do it from Safari. So if Momma Dee has a MacBook and she doesn't necessarily have Google Chrome or Firefox, these are all things that can happen with this. So again, just stick with us and I'm sure everything will work out. And if it doesn't, I'll just do a pre-recorded Zoom. So it's going to be fun. Speaking of the things that I was going to be talking to her about, though, too, I wanted to talk to Momma Dee about how she founded her business, Ultimate Living, which is a brand of natural health supplements. I wanted to talk to her about becoming one of the most sought after mothers on Bravo because Andy Cohen loves Momma Dee. What she looks forward to most in some of her upcoming projects. I know that she told me about some of the fun things that she's going to be doing, but I don't necessarily know if she can share those. So she said she doesn't give a rip. I hope she actually does not give a rip. We'll see. We'll see. How they worked around, ask Momma Dee how they worked around social distancing. Okay. Let me see if, 1 second, guys, bear with us. Let's see where Momma Dee is. I'm just going to check my email to make sure that she's on her way in and that we're not missing anything. Actually, I was talking to Pops. One of you just said, Pops, it would be fun to see Pops and Momma Dee together. Pops loves Momma Dee. Let's see. Let's see where she is, guys. Please work with me. 69 in the room. Guys, we're just waiting on Momma Dee. 1 second. No, we're just waiting to see what happens. Hopefully Momma Dee makes it, guys. Now we're 8 minutes in the room. I'm a little concerned. Let me ask her really quick. Actually, oh, guys, Momma Dee is in the room. We have her. All right. Leave this page, bring her up. I'm going to bring her up right now. Hi, Momma Dee. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, darling?
I'm good. I'm so excited that you made it. It was StreamYard being a little bit tricky for you?
No, I cheated. Okay, I love to cheat. So what I did, I called Sam, the guy that does my computer, all my stuff. I said, Sam, I don't know how to do this. Momma Dee's 80 years old. I can't do it. And so he said, well, Mom, I'll just do it for you. So he got it all ready. He said, now, when it's time, you just click this lower button and it's going to come up. So here we go. I figured it out.
All right. So then we're in business and we're ready to go.
Okay, babe. You go.
I love that. So Momma Dee, I always like to say this. It's my fun little intro for anyone because people who watch Bravo, they have to know who Momma Dee is. But if they don't, and we've been living under a rock, will you give us a little bit of your backstory just to brief the viewers?
Well, if they do not know who Momma Dee is, they've been sleeping for about 5 years. So you'll understand that. But Momma Dee is a little girl that grew up in a part of town. Where are you from, by the way?
So technically I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, but I grew up back and forth from West Palm to Chattanooga. So my family has a kind of a Southern thing too. And when I talk to you and I hear you talk, you bring it out of me a little bit.
I know, because I'm so funny. Good night, gracious. Well, anyway, I grew up in Dallas. I've always lived in Dallas my whole life. However, I grew up on what you call the cotton side of town. And my father was a butcher. And, we didn't have any money, but I was very creative, let's say that. And I
Okay.
made up my mind when I was young that I wasn't going to be poor all my life. I was going to be rich. I'll just be very honest with you. And so I think about this. This was 100 years ago because I'm getting ready to be 80. But I was kind of cute. So what I did is I entered all these little beauty contests and I won everything I entered. And so I did that only to get the prizes. I did not do it to say, oh, I miss armed forces or I miss this or miss that. I just wanted the prizes. So time went on, and I was on my way for Miss America whenever I met Deandra. Deandra is a housewife. I met her
Right.
father, and he was a wonderful man, a very handsome man from a very prominent family. I love challenges. I'm just going to be really honest with you. I love challenges, and my challenge was okay. Everybody told me they said, "Oh, no one can ever marry him because oh no, no, he's a confirmed bachelor." Well, you don't tell me I can't do anything. So, long story short, I played my game, whatever you want to call it, and I married him. And it was not exactly it wasn't the right thing to do.
It wasn't what you thought.
It wasn't what I thought. I mean, it was like a Cinderella story, kind of, So we were married for 10 years. You always think if I have a baby, everything will be okay. So I finally had Deandra after 4 years, and I had my baby, and I came home and I thought, huh? I can't go and get a pizza tonight at 10 o'clock? I had a baby.
You've
So
had
it wasn't too much fun. Anyway, we divorced after 10 years. I divorced, which I'm going to be very honest with you. I was wrong. It was not his fault. I take blame for all of it. He worshiped the ground I walked on. But you have to understand something, Adam. When I was 17 years old, I planned things. And when I was 17, I used to tell all my friends, my little girlfriends, now when I grow up, I'm going to marry Glenn Simmons. And he was the guru, business wise and handsome and everything else, but 13 years older than me. It makes a big difference when you're young. So they would say, oh, you'll never get to marry Glenn Simmons. You don't even know. I said, well, I'm either going to marry Glenn Simmons or Elvis Presley. I don't know which one. And they said, well, you have a better chance of Elvis Presley than Glenn Simmons. But I knew someday I would grow up. So I grew up, and there's 13 years difference. There was 13 years difference in our age. So finally, they said, well, how are you going to get him? I said, well, I'm going to study where he goes. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to close the deal. And God is my witness. That's exactly what we did.
You were a woman with a plan.
I had a plan, and I married him. We fell in love at lunch, and I married him when Deandra was, let's see, we started dating when she was 4. I married him when she was 6. And he was the love of my life until he went to heaven. We had 36 years of a beautiful, beautiful marriage. I mean, it was like unbelievable marriage, fabulous marriage. And so that's exactly my background is that. But, I think about if I could go back and, growing up with nothing of worldly things or pleasures or money. I didn't have any money. I wouldn't trade anything because my parents taught me so much. I learned about
Yeah.
integrity. I learned so many things that today, many children, Deandra grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth, but things that children don't learn today.
So you
So,
definitely feel like your upbringing, I apologize to interrupt, but I'm curious, your upbringing as opposed to Deandra's, definitely two totally different worlds.
holy, Deandra grew up with, what can I buy next? What's going to happen next? I was so, Adam, you don't understand. I went from I only went out of Texas one time when I had buried Glenn. And I laughed and said I went from riding a Greyhound bus to having my own jet airplane. And that's really a true story. So it changed overnight. And that's all Deandra ever knew. She went to the finest private school. She wore a new dress every day. Every Friday, Glenn, her stepfather, who adored her, he changed her last name to Simmons when she was young. He would take me shopping. Our nicest store was Neiman Marcus. And we would take her to school. And then he didn't work on Fridays because I was off. And we would go to Neiman Marcus. And I swear this is a true story. I would shop until I couldn't get any more in the car. When the car was full, we came home. And Deandra, I remember I would take her, this is horrible, Adam, but I would take her shoe shopping at a place where all the kids went called the Shoe Box. And we'd come home, I'd buy her 25 pair of shoes.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and I complain now because of her spending habits, and I realize it's my fault.
So her silver spoon might have, in fact, been gold. She might have had a gold spoon.
She probably had gold. It probably had diamonds in it too.
Yeah, this seems like a really nice spoon that Deandra grew up with.
She had a wonderful time, but she turned out. I'm very blessed. Deandra did not turn out. Yes, she's just a nice. I mean, she wears everything designer, and Lord buys everything she sees. However, she's one of the nicest, kindest, sweetest, most loving young women you'll ever meet.
Aww.
So she was around Glenn enough. That was her stepfather. That's exactly the way he was. He treated all of his employees that way, and everybody loved Glenn Simmons.
So you did a good job then.
I did my best, and my best was good enough.
I love that. Well, I was going to ask you, Momma Dee, though, because, you went through all of this, but now this has to be, I don't think anybody is used to going through quarantine or a pandemic. And now you've obviously been going through the same pandemic everyone else has. How has that been for you?
It's, you understand being a widow, it's difficult. I say sometimes I feel like I live in a hotel. I do not want to move. I love my home. It has a lot of memories. Glenn and I built it 34 years ago. I have two great housekeepers. However, they go home and here I am. And we had fine dining. We did all of this. So God's been really good to me. I've got two men, they're doctors, two gentlemen that are doctors. And I have dinner with them about 3 nights a week, I guess. And we'll either have something brought in. When the restaurants were really closed, I have a fabulous backyard with a beautiful gazebo.
And you're set.
Yeah, we would have it, we would have the food brought in. It's so funny because we posted pictures on Facebook and everyone wants to come to my gazebo now. I mean,
I want to come to your gazebo now.
I said I should have never done that. So we do that. And then we go out. I'm a great cook. That's something no one knows, but I'm a great cook. But, it's not fun cooking by yourself. And Glenn really didn't like me to cook, only because he said that's the only time he had me to himself. That's what he wanted.
I'm sorry to hear about Glenn, and I can tell he was amazing the way that you talk about him, and it brings up a question. I'm curious, how would Glenn have felt with you being on The Real Housewives of Dallas?
Glenn is the type, whatever I wanted to do, it didn't matter what it is. Honey, if you want to do it, you do it. That was his attitude. He never corrected me. He never raised his voice at me. He never got mad at me. I'm telling you, he was only one in a kind. So if I said, I think I'm going to Europe, he'd say, okay. I mean, he didn't care what I did. He let me do anything I wanted to do.
Oh, he was supportive.
Very supportive. The same way with Deandra. Deandra went to, we took her all over the United States to interview colleges, and I want to go to Sweetbriar. I want to go to Sweetbriar. Because she had a horse, see, she thought she was going to take that horse to Sweetbriar and jump and all that. Well, the first month she went to jump, broke her back.
Oof.
So her dad, I said, I can't handle this. He handled everything. He flew up there and he told them, he said, now we're going to have a tutor that's going to go to the hospital every day and Deandra will not get behind and all that. And that's what happened. But the thing is, Deandra selected a women's college and Deandra loves men. So what she would do, I know it, every weekend she would go to Washington Lee. She went through so many cars. I can't tell you the cars she went through. She'd go to Washington Lee or New York or whatever. And she found out after her first year, the classes only had like 10 in them, that she didn't have to do that. She could travel abroad. So Deandra lived in Paris for 1 year, went to school. She went to school in India. She went to school in Spain.
Oh, she traveled.
In Budapest. She went to school. Oh, she went all over the world. Deandra was never home. She traveled the world. Yeah. To go
Well,
out.
how did Deandra, was it, I mean, if you're allowed to speak about this, again, I want to walk a fine line. So anything that I bring up and you want to cut me off, please.
Mm-hmm.
But how was Deandra, I guess, approached with Bravo and filming for the Housewives? And how did you get approached with this whole concept? Because I'm curious, this has obviously impacted your life.
Yes, it has. Well, whenever they start, Dallas did not have a Housewives. Other, New York had, Atlanta had it. But when they started searching for Dallas, they knew two things. They knew they wanted someone from Highland Park, which is like the Rodeo Drive area, and we live in Highland Park. And the second thing they knew, they wanted a household name. If you ever look up Simmons in Dallas, that's a household name. I mean, we had 5 companies our family did on the New York Stock Exchange. We were very well known. So they approached her and she just said no. And then they kept calling and calling. And I remember one day we were in the office and she said, Mother, I don't know what I'm going to do. Housewives have called me 10 times today, Bravo, and I'm not going to answer the phone. I said, okay. So we knew that, because she knew in her heart that Simmons was a household name that she respected so much. Her father had worked hard, and her my brother-in-law. So she said no.
That.
She didn't want to jeopardize it. So finally, they went ahead and started, and they ran the show 1 year, and it did not make it. And I remember I was told that Andy said, the reason this show didn't make it, you don't have the right group of girls. Nobody knows these people. So they came back again, and Deandra had a friend who's no longer a housewife who begged and pleaded, Deandra, I need the money, I need the job, blah, 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 blah. You've just got to do this. Her father, in the meantime, had passed away. So we were in Deandra's home. We live 8 blocks from each other because her daddy built her a beautiful home. He just wanted to do that. And this girl was begging and crying and everything. And finally, she said to this girl, I can't do this. My last name is Simmons. There's so much expected of us. Because what Deandra was doing at that time, she chaired everything you can think. Salvation Army, Junior League, any kind of thing that raised money. Deandra was the #1 money raiser. So she said, no, can't do it. And this girl's always call me Momma Dee. And she said, Momma Dee, you please help. I need this. So I left and came home. And the next day, or maybe, I don't know when it was, I said, Deandra, I've been thinking about this. I said, your daddy gave his life to Dallas. I mean, we've done a lot for Dallas. And I said, you've chaired everything that moves in Dallas. I used to do the same thing when I was younger. And I have a work most people don't know about that I've done for 28 years with sick people. I do free. And I said, I think we've given back what we need to give back, if there's such a thing. So it doesn't bother me if you go do Housewives. I could care less. And I said, knowing your father, he would say, do what you want to do. That's what he always said to me. So
you're pretty much saying that the Simmons name, it carries a lot of weight, but you guys have contributed enough that, if Deandra wanted to go on and be a part of this franchise, it's okay.
That's right. Exactly. We had done, I believe that too much is given, much is required. But our family had really done a lot. I mean, we still do a lot. Our family still does a lot. But I just didn't see any reason why Deandra shouldn't do this. And I knew what her daddy would say. I really did know what her daddy would say. So here's what Deandra said. I'll never will forget it. She said, well, Mother, the only reason I'm going to do this is to help this girl because she needs money and I can make this show work. So she got on the show. Deandra selected another high-profile girl that lived down the street from us. And bingo, it took off. And that's how it's been. And the new girl... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, if anybody who's watching this, who watches Real Housewives of Dallas, can obviously pin those pieces together. Yeah, put those pieces together without you having...
There's 6 girls. There's 4 of them that are very comfortable, very well-to-do. This year, I had a great treat. I selected the new girl. We were adding a new girl this year. And when I tell you she's fabulous, she's Asian. I will tell you that.
So you're responsible for the new girl?
Yes.
Wow.
I called up the main man that owns the show. And I told him, I said, he answered the phone and said, hey, Momma Dee, what's up? And I called him by name and I said, I need to talk to you about who we're going to have on our cast next year. And he said, Momma Dee, I'm on a ski slope now. And Momma Dee said, I don't really give a rip where you are. You're going to listen to me right now. He said, well, you're never wrong. So it ended up within 2 weeks, he flew here and someone else from Bravo flew here. And I said, I'll film with her. I'll get Deandra to film with her. But she is a home run. And so we filmed and they said, well, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Wow.
She's going to be the best housewife probably they've ever had.
That's exciting news. And, Momma Dee, when we talked on the phone, you said something to me, and I don't know if we can necessarily talk about this again. You can cut me off. But most of the time people have Bravo signs traditional contracts with everybody. Was that...
Not me.
That's not you, right?
Oh.
Okay. And why is that?
I don't want to. I don't want any money. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. When you sign a contract, they're going to tell you what to do. You got to be there at a certain time.
No one owns Momma Dee.
Huh?
I said no one owns Momma Dee.
No, I mean, guys, I'm almost 80 years old. Nobody's going to tell me what to wear. I mean, Deandra has to buy, sometimes she buys 10 outfits and they have to pick the outfit. No, it's not going to happen with Momma Dee. Momma Dee's going to wear what Momma Dee wants to wear. I know how to dress. I did TV for 25 years before I ever knew them.
So that's awesome. That brings me to my next question. So one, we get that no one's going to control Momma Dee or tell her what to do. I love that. And then only God. Okay, I love that. And then my second one was, how did it take you a minute to become comfortable with the cameras, or was it second nature? But you were promoting your business on camera.
Well, I had been on TV. Let's see, my company now, Deandra owns it now. It's 25 years old. And I had already been on TV for 20 years with Deandra. Well, she hadn't been with me the whole time because she was working in Washington. But when she did come, she went back to school again. She got another whole, can't believe it. That kid's got so many. I can't tell you all the things that she has. But anyway, what we did, Adam, is we did TV every day for probably close to 20 years on nutrition, skincare. We even did HSN. I mean, I can control as many cameras as you want me to control. I know how to do that. I don't need teleprompters. I go from the seat of my pants. I know what
you told me that. You said you didn't want questions. I said, do you want me to send you questions? You said,
I do not know your questions. I don't want to know your questions.
You said I'm impromptu, pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep. Whatever comes to my head, that's what I say.
All right. Well, then moving on, I guess I wanted to ask you, looking back and watching the Real Housewives of Dallas, obviously every year you're going to get feedback, whether it's positive or negative. And I wanted to know, do you have any regrets watching yourself back on the Real Housewives of Dallas?
No, not at
No?
all. Because what Momma Dee does, I just say what I want to say. Now, they're going to edit that and cut it out if they don't want to. Andy thinks I'm the funniest human being he's ever met in his life. Because the first time, I've got to tell you something, Adam. I don't know why I said this. The first time I met him, I think it was the first year, maybe the second year Deandra was on, and they invited me to a reunion. And the other girls didn't know I was going to be there, except Deandra. And I came walking out. Now, this is stupid. And I sat down and I was dressed. I mean, I had fabulous clothes. You don't need to tell me what to wear. And he said, Momma Dee, how are you? And I said, Andy, I'm as fine as a gnat's ass wrapped around a rain barrel. He said, what? I said it again, a gnat's ass. And I said, don't you know what that means? He said, Momma Dee, I never know anything you mean, but I love it.
I was talking to my pops who comes on my channel once a week because he loves pop culture. And I told him I'm talking to Momma Dee, and he's like, Andy loves Momma Dee. Andy had her on the show, and he loves Momma Dee, and he was going on and on about you forever. He
loves me, and I would have gone back. I didn't get to go back this last year because I had ankle surgery, and I missed it. But Andy, I'm real. See, there again, when you're not under contract, Adam, and you really don't give a rip. If I'm ever on there again, I don't care. Hey, I don't care. I don't need it. I don't want to do it. I've got a happy life. Then I think you don't think about what you're going to say. You just let it roll. Just let it roll. And that's what I do. So I enjoy it. I love Andy. I think he's funny. I think he's real funny. And my daughter is, this is my opinion, I think my daughter is really the star. And Andy will say many times, Deandra, he says, you're the only one that makes reason, that has basically what he said. Her vocabulary is so excelled. Her hobby is reading dictionaries. Her father knew every word in the dictionary, and Deandra just about does. And many times the girls will ask her, she talks over their heads, and she does it sometimes to be hateful, I think, just to be mischievous. And they'll say, we don't know what you're talking about. And he'll say, Andy said the last time, he said, that's because you're stupid. Well, it's not because they're stupid. They're very bright girls. It's just I don't know what she's talking about half the time. I say, okay, whatever.
So she's highly intelligent. I was going to ask you, I did have some fan questions, and one of them included Deandra. And again, you said you don't give a rip. No. So I thought it would be okay if I asked.
Uh-huh.
And one of the questions was, do you ever regret giving Deandra the family business?
No. I was ready to retire.
Yeah.
I had worked. Think about this again. I retired almost 3 years ago, and I'll be 80 my birthday. And I've worked since I was 12 years old. So I didn't want to work anymore. And I have another business. It keeps me busy, so I certainly didn't need it. I didn't need to keep doing that.
Okay. And do we have any future projects coming up that you're allowed to give us a clue about or talk about? Or
well, before I broke my ankle and before the pandemic happened, I had flown to LA about having a show where I'd be very, very involved in. And then, they had to stop filming in LA. When filming comes back in LA, if I'm not 100 years old, I will have that. I will be on that show. It's going to be a major. I can say that.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping it does come back. And they did a lot of interviewing, and it's so funny because I told the head of Bravo 2 years ago, this is what I said. I said, look, I know how much you love money. I said, I'm going to tell you how to get richer. I'm going to tell you about a show you need to do. And he's like, oh, Momma Dee, blah, 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 blah. Well, a major network decided to do this show. And he said, oh, I'm going to call the producer. I'm going to call the producer. I trained this producer. And he called him and said something about me, how perfect. They said, and this producer said, if I hear the word Momma Dee one more time, I'm going to lose it. It's all over my desk. So I feel confident if I want to do that, if it does materialize, if that's what I will be doing.
Okay.
Well, I got to get I'm getting ready to have ankle surgery again. So I've got to get that well.
Oh, you're going to be right back into it before we know it.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
You will. You will. So. We didn't know you were having ankle surgery, but since that was one thing we didn't know about you, I guess, we do. Of course, we're wishing you a speedy recovery and nothing but health, happiness, and love because we love you. But I wanted to ask you, that's one thing we didn't know about you, but is there anything else that maybe we don't get to see on camera, something that we don't know about you as fans?
Yes, there is. And I think this is something people should know because I think, a lot of people look at me and say, oh, your last name's Simmons and you live in this big mansion, and you drive a Bentley and you do this and you do that. What they do not know about me is that 34 years ago, I had breast cancer. And at that time, I promised God, if he spared my life, the rest of my life, I would take care of sick people. And my family, my brother-in-law actually built the #1 breast center, I think, in the whole world. It's called Simmons. You can look it up. Simmons Cancer Center. It's a cancer center.
Yeah.
And it's huge. And they're in the process now of building another one too on the campus. And I was able to, I'm a patient advocate. That's what I do. See, people don't realize that my days, like I was in the hospital on, New Year's Eve with a patient that something happened to, July 4th. Some mornings I'm up at 3:30. Some nights I don't roll in till 10 o'clock at night till I get my patient in ICU. So I have about 400 patients that what I do, I manage their health care. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna tell you something, guys. That's really hard. I mean, that is a really hard thing to do because particularly at my age, but I never say no. I made that promise. So I take care of people. And the thing where I'm blessed is I have the connections. See, it's about in medical, it's hard to get good doctors now. So in my cell phone, I have what I call the A list. I have every cell doctor's phone number. And I call them and I navigate this business through this pandemic. I have navigated my business through the phone. Oh, I have patients. I had one man from China, came here, took care of everything. I've had people from all over the country. I'm working with a man now from Pennsylvania with a family. So where if I could go back and do one thing different about my life, I would become a physician. I'm very intelligent when it comes to medicines and it comes to patient care. I know how to take care of patients. I make all my patients like their only patient.
So you would have went into a medical background.
Yeah, they don't see me as a Simmons. My patients just see me as this angel that comes in and takes care of them, And that's something that probably I don't think any of my fans know about. And it's something I've given my life to. I mean, I've done that for 28 years is how long I've done that.
I think I can at least speak for your fans and anybody watching this and myself and all of us when I say thank you. That's such a respectable thing that you do. And that's amazing. That is something we didn't know about you. Well,
I will tell you how serious I am about it. We live, like I said, in the best part of Dallas. And over a period of time, my husband, we had a place in Maui that we spent July in. We bought, and then we bought a home in, my husband's favorite place was Palm Springs, California. And then we had our Dallas home. And he said to me, he said, honey, if you want to quit work and give up what you've got, he said we could spend part of the time in Maui, part of the time in Palm Springs, and part of the time in Dallas. And what I said to him, and I meant it from my heart, Adam, I said, Glenn, I can't do that, honey. That's not what God's called me to do. I've been called to take care of sick people. Now, most men in his position would say, oh, I can't believe we can't enjoy our homes and things. And he would say, I certainly understand. You go do what you're called to do. And whenever you get home, I'll either have dinner ready or we'll go out to dinner. That's how we live. So we didn't take these lavish vacations. Before I had cancer, we did. But after I had cancer, we didn't take, we could have done anything in the world we wanted to do. We could have lived on a yacht, but that didn't make a difference in the lives of other people. And that's what Dee Simmons is called to do, is to make a difference in the lives of others. And they do not have the connections. They have a problem. They can't get in to see a doctor. So that's something that I've never shared with any of my fans. A lot of my fans see me on TV and they say, oh my gosh, you're Momma Dee. Or I'll go to the hospital and they'll say, oh, you're Momma Dee. I can't believe it, because they don't see me in that role.
We didn't know that about you.
I'm really good in that. And that's my vision, my mission, and my passion is taking care of sick people.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Momma Dee.
Yes, I love it.
I do, though, only because I like a good balance in life. So you have the really good on your side where this is that amazing part of your life. And then you also have that side of you where you don't give a rip.
I do not give a rip, ever. Ever do I give a rip.
I know you don't. So I'm just curious. It was a fan question, but it was, when did Momma Dee start saying, I don't give a rip? And where did she get the saying from?
Oh, Lordy, I have so many sayings. I don't know where. Something came up and, I remember one day someone was really giving me a hard time. And I just think, and this person said, I'm just going to bury you. And I said, I don't think you realize I'm a seed. Got it?
Yeah, because you're saying that you're a tree. So if they bury you, you're going to grow.
I'm going to come right back, darling. But my friends understand, I've always tried to tell Deandra, there's friends that are with you in hard times. There are friends that leave you during hard times. And then there's friends that put you in hard times. And I've always told Deandra, take your hand of five, okay? Count on your fingers your good friends. You will, in your lifetime, you will only have maybe 3 good friends. And you're blessed if you have that. I am blessed. I have that.
My dad used to always grow up and say, son, I guess this is probably before he knew that his son was gay, but he used to always say, son, you don't leave your wife left alone in a room with your best friend, because one day that won't be your best friend. And I used to always say, what does that mean? But yeah,
well, that's very true. The 2 doctors I run around with, they're husbands, and they really, oh my gosh, if you could see this picture. Oh, I wish I had this picture. I had this fabulous jumpsuit made with, it's unbelievable. And so David, they both are doctors. He wanted one like it. So he had a jacket made in it. And we wore it to this event Friday evening, and everybody went crazy over it.
So you guys just showed up matching.
We showed up matching, and people just, I'm just a strong woman.
You said you're a type A personality.
Yeah, I'm a very type A, and I've always told you.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but you said you feel like people are intimidated of you sometimes because you're a type A personality.
Maybe so. But and also I said to Deandra, you want to know strong women. You want to be a strong woman and a woman. And I know that I have raised her to be a strong woman. So I think that's, here's the strong women. I love to be a strong woman,
Okay.
So anyway, I just, I really enjoy my life. I think it's just, I'm really blessed to have the life that I have. You know.
I love that. Well, I know that you're a super busy, super busy woman, Momma Dee, and I don't want to keep much more of your time. Do you mind if I ask you three quick more questions and I'll let you go?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next one was it was a fan question, and people want to know, how is your relationship now with Deandra and her husband Jeremy?
Fabulous. Absolutely
Okay,
better than it's ever been.
that's good
Jeremy,
news.
yeah, Deandra is married to a man that's very patient, a lot like Glenn. I mean, she had to go on a meeting yesterday, and she told Jeremy to take her, and he sat in the car for 3 hours.
Aw.
Let's see, those are the things that Glenn did. So our relationship, Deandra, we really went through some rocky times there, which all the fans know, the first year or two. But all that's, you know, we would go through fights and then we'd leave and go have a cup of coffee together. The problem is you have two women exactly alike in their personalities. And that's the one thing Glenn always said. He said, the only thing I worry about is you and Deandra will just fight. Y'all will end up not being friends, but we're great friends. Very great friends.
Okay. All right. And then my second one was, what is your, if you have one aside from Dallas, what is your favorite Housewives show, and who is your favorite non-Dallas housewife on Bravo?
My favorite, I've never watched the Housewife shows.
Okay. Oh, so you're one of a kind over here. You just kind of
I just go do what I want to do. I don't ever try to emulate people. You know, some people watch things to try to be like people. That is not Momma Dee's. Momma Dee is her own little self.
Original.
Mm-hmm. But I've never, I think Deandra just started maybe watching a few of them. Because see, I don't see the other housewives in the show. Deandra sees them places that she goes. So I don't know them. The only one that I do know, her mother, I know Tinsley's mom, Dale. We love each other. I mean, we just love each other. Yeah.
I think it killed Dale's heart when she knew that Tinsley was leaving Housewives. You could totally tell on the episode, and I know you don't watch it, but
and she's texted me before and said, "Oh, Momma Dee, I want to do a show with you. I want to do a show with you. We'd like to do a show together." I'm a very strong personality. Housewives really, if you go back and look at all the shows, they haven't had a lot of mothers on because you've got to be quick. I mean, I never have anyone that asks me a question, I can't blow out the answer. And I told Deandra, and that's not fair to expect it of a mother. I've been on TV for over 25 years. I mean, I would be sitting in this big studio with 3 cameras. There was no one directing. I was doing everything. I was doing the show. I was doing everything. So I'm very different in the point that, and Andy knows that. See, Andy, that's what Andy likes. He picked up on that. I didn't have to be trained for television. I'm camera ready and camera made. I don't need any kind of teleprompter.
I'm sure he can appreciate that. But you're right, though, Momma Dee, because honestly, you're one of the very few like iconic moms to the Bravo brand. And when I say that, I mean, of course, we have Mama Dale, who's Tinsley's mom, and but I'm talking about like the real standout knockout moms, Mama Joyce, Mama Elsa from Real Housewives of Miami, and Momma Dee. You're right. You're one of those when you think about one of the moms.
We've talked about having our own show. I know once I was with the president, and that she said to me, "You need to be on Southern Charm." I think she said. I don't know what Southern Charm even is. She said that just like that. And I just said, okay, whatever. I can adapt. You have to understand something, Adam. You tell me what role I need to play and give me 5 minutes and I'm ready to go with you.
You're a chameleon.
I'm just, I'm always camera ready pretty much, to do whatever you wanted me to do. The one thing I would like to say, and I really don't give a rip about this, there's one girl that's gone this year. You know who that is?
I know who that is.
Okay. I just want to get one thing straight. That person was fired.
Okay.
There's been stories there put out by people that, I'll say one thing that Bravo was very gracious, but tell it like it is. And
So
that's
you're
what
saying
happened.
own your truth.
Oh, I know. I know for a fact. Is I think that if she hadn't have been, there would be about 3 people that wouldn't have come back. 4, probably.
Okay.
So, there's a time and a place. This may be Deandra's last year. Deandra is very seasoned for some real in-depth shows. Deandra's working on some things, and Deandra has in her contract. Some girls just are so excited to be a housewife. They sign this contract. They can't ever be
it all away.
Deandra can do other shows, and Deandra can go on if she decides. I mean, Deandra is the oldest on the Dallas. She's now 51 years old. And so she said, Mother, Deandra is just so intelligent. I'll explain it to you, Adam. Her vocabulary is just so excelled. Now, when you meet the new girl, you're going to fall in love with her.
I can't wait.
Thank you, Momma Dee. Thank you, Momma Dee. Thank you, Momma Dee. And you know what's so neat about this other girl? She doesn't give a rip either, because guess what her family owned? Have you ever heard of Sam Moon?
Sam Moon?
Look it up sometime.
I'm going to look it up right after this.
Yeah, it's major stores. They own, they're big. I mean, they're the size of supermarkets with stuff, but they own hotels. They had one of the parties at they own huge hotels. They're building a hotel in the major part of downtown Dallas. So this girl's got so much money, she doesn't know what to do with it. She's got so many Birkins, she can't count them.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is, she did this, and she's a doctor. I left that out.
So she didn't even need to do this.
She's a physician, a great
That's
physician.
your point, is some of that makes the best housewife are the ones that don't need to do this. That's what you were trying to say.
The thing that my daughter loves about this, having this new housewife, and we were friends. We would go to dinner. This girl and I would go to dinner. And she has a great vocabulary. Just this girl graduated from college at 16 years old from Cornell. She graduated from medical school at 22 years old. This girl is what you call a genius, a real genius. Excuse me, Juanita. I'm doing a show. And so she was a really, really genius. So because of that, she didn't need to do these other things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
In the sideline, working in hospital and going to dinner with her, I got it. I caught it. I knew she had that little missing link of the Real Housewives of Dallas. She was the missing link. And now it's put all of this chain together, and you're going to you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And
you just finished filming, right? So things are coming together.
We have finished with everything. We're in the middle. Some of the girls are on vacation. Deandra, bless her heart. Seems like she films every day. We're doing confessionals now. And I've only done one. Deandra's done many. And I've got, I think, 2 more to go. But when the girls get back, they'll have to do their confessionals. And then that's really it. I don't know when the show will start airing. I have no idea. You know yourself. Everything has to be edited and all that,
Of course. And with the weird year of 2020, who knows? But
that's fine. But it'll be good. You know what I really believe?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, go ahead, please.
The one thing I want to say, this is the first year that girls could not go out of the country. Last year they went to Thailand and Mexico. This year, I think Deandra had kind of planned on taking them to Africa because that's her home away from home. She knows every little speck of Africa. She's been so many times. But because of the pandemic, they couldn't leave our area. So they had to do everything. We did some things in my home, some in Deandra's home, and all the girls' homes we did. The only place they could go, they'd have to get on a charter deal for the girls, and they would go. They went to a place called Austin, Texas. But the grand finale is so good. And that's going to be, I can't tell you, but that's going to be, you know what happened? These people, Adam, had to get really creative. So by not being able to travel to these other countries and so forth, they had to be creative. When you do it
They
in
did
your own
theme nights,
backyard,
right?
you got to be real creative. So we were very creative. They were
Yeah,
very,
I think that we got a little bit of like blogger insight, and they were saying that Dallas was doing a lot of theme nights. I believe you guys had, maybe I could be spitting this out there, but like I think you guys had a 80s night and a country hoedown night.
mhm.
You had
It's
some
so
night.
It's so good. I mean, it's really good. Now, you understand, I'm not a housewife, so I do not participate in these things that these girls do. I don't go out into the West. I did participate in one thing that's pretty funny, and that was with the girl that I brought in, a big deal with all the housewives. But you don't want to cause problems either because the other mothers are not in it. So it's we've got to be careful about that. So when I do my filming, I'm usually with Deandra or Deandra and Jeremy. That's who I'm with.
Yeah, but you're not one of the other moms. You're like an anomaly.
Well,
It's different. They have to just suck it
oh,
up, Buttercup. You're Momma Dee. There's a difference here.
thank you, sweetheart. But I enjoy it. I love all the girls, and it's a really fun time. It's a tiring time. It's my daughter's eyes are just like because she gets up at her hair people and her makeup people. She has a room that she's had built that's fabulous. I said it's better than anything ABC or NBC even have, with all the mirrors and the chairs and the lights and all that. So they come at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then one morning she got to bed at 3, and sometimes they film till 12 o'clock.
Oh, she's busy.
She's tired. She's
She's
tired,
busy.
but it's gonna be good. So
Well,
we look forward to it.
I was going to say, well, hopefully when this pandemic is over, hopefully they'll start filming Watch What Happens Live and everything in person again. And then hopefully Andy will have you on as a guest. And when he does, I'll be right there on the side waiting for you with your champagne. And I'm going to hide in your suitcase and go with you. Because I want to be a part of this and I don't want to miss
I
it.
would love for you to go. He called me the other night, and he said, "Momma Dee." They told me he was going to call. "Momma Dee, what are you doing this?" And I said, "Andy," I really put on that thing. I said, "Andy, Momma Dee's been so bored." I said, "In fact, all that Deandra and I have done is cook. In fact, I have gained so much weight, I'm not even going to be able to get out of the door when this is over with." And at that time, I had Deandra behind my chair, and she came up and she looked exactly like me. She said, "Mama, what are you talking about?" And she said, "I'm the one with the star." And I said, "Andy, you should give Momma Dee a star too." It was really funny. It was so cute. I
He's
love
like, done, sign the contract.
no contract.
No contracts.
I will, just so you do know, the new show I'm talking about, if it ever materializes, I will be signing a contract.
Okay.
It's a different whole theme and scheme, and you would want a contract for that.
Okay, so fair enough. So contracts aren't out totally, but it's on Momma Dee's terms. And I think I admire that about you.
Thank you. Well, at my age, I think I deserve something at almost 80. Goodness gracious,
Well, I love that. Momma Dee, you've been so awesome. I really appreciate you calling in. I've had so much fun with you, and I knew after talking to you on the phone, this was going to be a blast.
Well, sometime we'll have to do one with Deandra and I together. That's a hoot. Woo!
Of course, yeah. And I'll be passing through Texas one day. Who knows? When all of this pandemic and all the madness is over, maybe I can stop in and do an in-person actual interview with you guys. That would be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Thank you,
All right.
Adam.
Thank you so much, Momma Dee. I appreciate you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, guys, how awesome was that? Momma Dee was so amazing. Holy cow. She really kind of just shared with us her story and how fascinating of a woman she truly is. She has such a insane background and how she came up in the world. And I've always been fascinated with Momma Dee. I think that she's just an honorary housewife. And again, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys haven't, please go check out The Real Housewives of Dallas. And if you haven't checked out Momma Dee, I don't know what rock you're living under. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Please like this video on your way out, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.